Hi guys and welcome to the channel. We're just going to do some bits VXR wise. Some of you might be familiar with Astra VXRs and Z20 engines, but we're going to see what we can do. Today we're going to be replacing the chrome heat shield, what I'm not a massive fan of, to be honest. We're going to replace it with a black TX Autosport heat shield and a black front pipe from Nevlock Performance. So let's see how we get on. So there's the chrome heat shield and water pipe that's in question that runs across the front of the engine. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove the oil breather pipe that comes off the rocker cover at the right hand side, which will give me access to get to the bolts for the water pipe and the heat shield. It'll just make life a hell of a lot easier. Now that pipe's removed and out of the way, all I'm going to do now is block these holes up with some blue roll, or you can use kitchen roll or whatever you've got to hand, maybe a rubber glove, just so I don't drop any bolts or coolant when I'm removing the water pipe down these holes. So to remove the water pipe first, there's two bolts on this side and one on the other side for the heat shield, but I didn't have a special socket for these, so I just used a 10mm to loosen them off. Right, so now the three bolts are removed, this one on the left hand side here and that one there and the one to the far right, that removes the water pipe from the heat shield and the heat shield also from the block of the engine. So all we've got to do now is go ahead and remove the heat shield. So that's the chrome heat shield removed, so underneath that there's also the standard heat shield what also needs removing before we can refit the new one back on. It's the exact same process, all you've got to do is undo the 10mm bolts that hold the heat shield to the turbo manifold. Now that's the two top bolts removed, there's also one just a bit further down what you also need to do, and that's another 10mm bolt. As you can see from this video, which I didn't actually explain, I had to remove the silicone crossover delete because I could not get the heat shield around the crossover delete, so I just needed that little bit extra room. This one is a little bit more difficult to get off, but I'm just trying to be careful because I don't want to scratch my paint on my rocker cover and have to take that off and repaint, so just be patient and it will eventually come off. So let's unbox the new heat shield from TX Autosport. It's finished in a nice matte black colour and I think it retails for around £30 to £35. So let's get this fitted and see what it looks like. Just to give you a little heads up on what I'm doing, these spacers actually come supplied with the heat shield. You've got to put these into the bolt holes just so it spaces the heat shield away from the manifold so it doesn't catch. Now the spacers are all in and tight, let's get the heat shield on. There's two little Allen key grub screws what just screw into the spacers and then that's basically the job done. So let's crack on. So there you have it, that's the heat shield all fitted, and personally it makes a massive difference compared to the standard one that's got looking a little bit tired. So now let's move on to the water pipe. So to remove this, we've got one Jubilee clip on the left hand side, we've got one Jubilee clip underneath, and we've got one Jubilee clip on top which goes to expansion tank. We need to undo all these three and then we should hopefully be able to just pull the water pipe off without losing too much coolant. As you can see, I did lose a little bit of coolant. That's why I'm glad I put some rag down them pipes just in case this did happen, but luckily it stopped it from going down into the bottom of the engine. Once removing the old front water pipe, fitting the new one's a pretty simple procedure. All you've got to do is reconnect the 3 silicone holders and make sure all your Jubilee clips are tight, and make sure you've got no water leaks. That's all connected back up now. That Jubilee clip on there, that Jubilee clip back on there, and that Jubilee clip back on there. Did lose a little bit of coolant, but we can soon top that back up in a minute. So now all we've got to do is get us bolts, what we had for us heat shield and us other water pipe, and screw that back up to there, that back up to there. Put this oil breather hose back into it once we remove paper, and we should be good. So now we've got this breather hose Jubilee clipped and tightened back on, there's water pipe tightened back on. All we've got left now to do is this, put this back on. So people, that's in 2 jobs complete, and personally I think it's made a massive difference to engine bay. I'm getting rid of all the chrome, so the next on the list is probably the AirTech top hat in gloss black to get rid of the chrome. But if you like the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next video.